Hare Krishna, welcome devotees to the Gita Daily session. So today's Sloka is 1842. I would like to thank all devotees who are joining regularly. So let's start by taking the blessings of the Lord, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maya Sudarshan, Lakshmi Narasimhadev, God Nitai Panchatattva. Let's pray that by their blessings we shall understand the transcendental topics of Bhagavad Gita. So let's recite the prayers together. Om Adnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll dedicate a session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by whose mercy we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita and also able to apply practically in our day-to-day life. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are discussing 1842. Let's recite the shloka together. Samodamastava shaucham क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्. Repetition. समोदमस्तपाशौचं क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which Brahmanas work. Word to word meaning. Sama, peacefulness. Dhamma, self-control. Tapa, austerity. Shaucham, purity. Kshanti, tolerance. Arjavam, honesty. Eva, certainly. Cha, and. Gnanam, knowledge. Vijnanam, wisdom. Astikyam, religiousness. Brahma, of the Brahmana. Karma, duty. Swabhavajam, born of this nature. So, setting the context. So, we actually have been discussing, previously the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, 15th chapter actually is known as the Yoga of the Supreme, right? So we were actually, in that shloka, in that chapter, we saw the last session, the Lord actually summarizing the understanding of the chapter, right? So basically, the conclusion of that chapter is that Krishna says that no, this is the most confidential knowledge I am revealing to you, Arjuna, which I am spoken to you. And what is the most confidential knowledge? It's about the three important aspects, like Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana, right? So Sambandha, so basically, Lord explains his transcendental position. Who actually, what is his identity? That he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And his person is a person actually who is always exchanging loving relationship with devotees. So that is, he is the source of Brahman, Brahmajyoti, right? That is what actually we understood the position of the Lord, and Sambandha Gyan is the knowledge about the relationship of the Jiva with the Lord. So we have seen that Jiva Swarup Hai Krishna Vinditas. The constitutional position of the Jiva is to serve the Lord. They are part and parcel of Krishna. So this is Sambandha Gyan. And Abhidaya is the process by which we can attain the highest perfection or we can restore to our constitutional position. So that is the devotional service or bhakti. So Krishna says, establish this, right? And finally, Prayojana is ultimate benefit. By performing bhakti, one can attain the highest perfection and attain the love of Godhead. And then they can return to their constitutional position by serving the Lord in the Vaikuntha planet. So these are the this is the most confidential knowledge, right? What actually the Lord is revealed in the 15th chapter. So now we are moving to the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is the last chapter. So we have seen, that actually Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and there are 700 shlokas. So the acharyas have selected the most important shlokas, from the 700 shlokas, which are 118 numbers, and we are discussing those 108 shlokas, which actually carries the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So we also saw the essence of Bhagavad Gita, as is already explained in this chapter, right? In 15:15, Sloka 15 of chapter 15, the essence is described as the purpose of knowing all the Vedas, is to understand Krishna, right? Vedesha sarve rahameva vedyo. So Krishna says this indirectly in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. So from that perspective, we actually are discussing the shlokas which fortifies this understanding of the Lord's position. So in the 15th chapter, sorry, 18th chapter which we are discussing today, Sloka is 1842, where actually we will try to revisit, the concept of varnashrama system. So in this particular shloka, current shloka, the Krishna is explaining the qualities of a Brahmana. So we need to understand the qualities of Brahmana because, to become a devotee or a Vaishnava, right? It is mentioned that Vaishnava is above Brahmana. But then first we have to come to the platform of Brahmana. Or no, basically we also have seen the three modes of material nature, right? Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So Tamoguna is the lowest mode. And then actually higher than Tamoguna is the Rajoguna, which is the mode of passion. So Tamoguna is the mode of ignorance. Then higher is the mode of passion, and higher than passion is mode of goodness, which is Sattva-guna. And the material world, actually is governed by the three modes, Sattva, Raja, and Tamas. Right? Maya Devi actually controls the jivas by the three modes. So the jivas are under the influence of these three modes generally. And one who becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, he transcends the three modes and come to the platform known as Shuddha Sattva, which actually is transcendental, which is above the goodness. But from a practical perspective, first of all, we need to develop the goodness qualities, right? Then only we can come to the higher quality. So that is why we need to understand the qualities of goodness, which Brahmana is actually in the mode of goodness. So and also the Varnashrama system we have seen in the in chapter 4. No, one second. Yeah, in chapter 4 we have seen the Varnashrama system. No? Krishna says in 4:13 it is mentioned, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So Krishna Lord says that this Chaturvarnya, which is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, is created by me, and it is not based on the birth alone, right? It is based on the qualities, Guna and Karma. So the qualities, basically the three modes which actually a person is influenced by, and also by the activity the person performs, right? So Guna and Karma decides the Varnas. So that actually we have discussed in the fourth chapter. So if anybody is missed the session, they can go back and see the recording of 413. So now we'll just quickly have a recap, but not in more detail. So basically we need to understand the varnashram system. So basically the most of the people in the material world, right? So they are not. So they have come here because they want to enjoy independent of the Lord, and they are most of them are not inclined to perform devotional service. So the society has to run in an orderly manner with harmony. So no, for those people, this varnashram system is essential, right? So that there is a proper harmony and a stability in the society. So according to the modes, the different categories of people are classified into the different varnas, right? So the people who are intellectually aligned, they are brahmanas. Then people who are no administrative, they are kshatriyas. People who are doing business, they are called vaishyas, and people who are doing service to other categories of people are known as shudras. So these are the four varnas. So we look into in little more detail, right? But an essential point we need to understand is that before we go into deep, is that these are actually meant for the upkeep of the society. But a pure devotee is not belong to any of the category of Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. He is above all of them. He is transcendental platform because Jiva is a soul, right? Which is part and parcel of Krishna, and it is not influenced by any of these things of the material world, right? But then temporarily when they come in the material world, there is an order which is established in the material world, by which the society can run properly. For that, the varnashrama system is existing, the varnas and ashramas, right? So that is a essential understanding. So whether we like or not, right? Of course, many people doesn't like to talk about these varnas because over the period it has been exploited, right? And people deviated and people exploited. So, but nevertheless, whether we like or not, these categories of people always exist in every society. So we'll quickly look at the qualities again. So sama is the first quality mentioned. That is the control of the mind, right? So this is the first quality we need, for a brahmana. Then dhamma is the control of senses. So a brahmana has to be peaceful, right? He has to have full control on his senses and the mind. Right? Otherwise, actually, the people, the person cannot be peaceful. The next quality is austerity, tapa. Right? So they are willing to take troubles to make spiritual advancement. Shaucham is cleanliness. So that includes both external and internal cleanliness. So the body has to be kept clean, by taking bath, etc. And internally, the cleanliness has to be there by purity of the heart, which actually is developed by doing devotional service or chanting all the holy name. Shanti is tolerance. So this is an important quality of a brahmana. So they don't become quickly angry. They're very peaceful, and then they tolerate actually. So even if somebody behaves provocatively, they keep maintaining the tolerance. Then arjavam is simplicity and honesty. Jnanam, knowledge actually. They gain the spiritual knowledge, right? Jnanam. and Vijnanam is practical knowledge, application. They should also know whatever theoretical knowledge has been gained, they know how to apply it in the day-to-day life. Astikyam, in faith in scriptures and God, right? Acceptance of basic Vedic authority, right? And rejects atheistic speculation. Brahma Karma Swabhava. So these are the natural qualities of a Brahmana, right? Who actually is in the topmost order. So now let's move on. So another aspect Srila Prabhupada explains is that we have already seen the Varna division is not based on the birth. So just like Prabhupada gives the example, just because somebody is born as a son of a doctor or an judge, it doesn't mean that the son also automatically becomes a judge. Right? He has to study properly and acquire the qualifications. So similarly, so just because somebody is born in a Brahmana family, he may be called a Brahma Bandhu, but he is not a Brahmana unless until he develops those qualities. And somebody who is born in a Shudra or even in an outcast, but he develops the Brahminical qualities, he has to be accepted as a Brahmana. So it is not just based on the birth actually. So this is one aspect we need to understand. Yeah, so but generally we have seen these varnas are required for the so that society runs. So in the olden times, a Kshatriya king, he has these qualities of he is mostly in the mode of passion, and he has a quality of valor, like fighting spirit, administrative capabilities, very hard, strong willed. So these qualities Kshatriyas is having. But then Kshatriya was not acting independently. So a king always used to have an advice of a Brahmana, right? Actually, who actually who is in the mode of goodness, and the king always listened to the advice of the Brahmana. So we have the example of Chanakya, right? So who was a king, who was a Brahmana, who was advising Chandragupta. That's the ideal scenario. So the olden time Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, though they had all these administrative capabilities, but they did the administration based on the advice of the Brahmanas. So who are rooted in spiritual qualities. So that way the kingdom used to prosper, and then there used to be proper harmony in the society. So this way, these different varnas were required so that the society is maintained in a nice way. But then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we have seen, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. So Krishna says, Arjuna, that you have to rise above the three modes. So generally, if you want to just be happy in this material world, we have seen that Vedas also have different sections, right, which actually give how to be happy in this material world, right? The Karma Kanda section. So these most of the people are interested in only in this. For those people, this Varnashram system and all these Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are important actually. So, but then when we are trying to become a devotee of the Lord, a pure devotee, and our destination is to attain the highest perfection, then we have to transcend all these three modes, right? So we have to go above this. So for those people, gradually, these things are not so much important actually, the varnas and ashramas. So our aim is different. Our aim is not to become prosperous. So based on the different level of people's advancement, right? Accordingly, the different systems are prescribed actually. So let us just compare, the qualities of the four varnas. So, so we have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So what are the which mode they are belonging to? First, we'll see. So Brahmana is predominantly, is completely mostly in Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness, and his qualities are we have seen today. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, faith in God. So these are the qualities of Brahmana. And what are his occupation? So padan, padan, yajan, yajna. So like that. So basically, the occupation of Brahmana is mostly to teach, right? And then they study scriptures, and then they teach others the scriptures. They guide the society spiritually, and perform sacrifices. So these are the occupational duties of Brahmanas. So ideally speaking, Brahmana is to guide the society, right? So when Brahminical culture is lost, then the society becomes haywire. The order is lost, and then there won't be proper direction, which actually we see in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, there are no qualified Brahmanas, and it is also mentioned Kalau Shudra Sambhava. So in Kali Yuga, most of the people are born as Shudras only, because this all these qualities and dharmic principles are gradually declining, right? So in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to find a pure Brahmana. So that is why it is mentioned in the previous yugas, in Treta Yuga, etc. When the Brahmana performs yajna, right, it actually gives a result, complete result. So they can revive a dead animal, like if an animal is sacrificed in the homa, the Brahman, by the chanting of mantras, the Brahmana can revive that animal. They bring back them to the life, and by performing yajnas, they can bring forth rains. So all these qualities were there, and then they can light the fire by just chanting the mantras. So the pure Brahmanas, when they are pure and then they are potent, then actually all these results are attained. But in Kali Yuga, we see that this all weakened actually. So Brahmanas cannot have bring those same results. So that is why for Kali Yuga it is performed, the chanting of the holy name, the Nama Sankirtan is performed, because no other yajnas are doesn't not working, other processes are not working. So that is why in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, no, Yajnanam Jabe it knows me. Of all the yajnas, I am the chanting of the holy name. So this way, the Brahmana qualities are lost in Kali Yuga. So now coming to Kshatriyas. So Kshatriyas are in the mixed mode. So the primary mode there is in passion, mode of passion. And they also have a little bit of Sattva the Kshatriyas. So what are the qualities? Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. So these are the qualities of Kshatriya. And what are their occupation? So their duty is to protect the people, no, to govern, do the administration, no, defense activities, justice. So these are the occupational duties of Kshatriya. And coming to Vaishya, so Vaishya is also mixed. They are also in the mixed mode. So they are predominantly they are in the mode of Rajas, right? That is passion, and with some tamas, tamoguna. What are the qualities? Agriculture, cow production, trade and business. Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijam, Vaishya, Karma, Sabhavajam. So these are the qualities of a Vaishya. And what are the occupation? Like farming, commerce, cattle rearing, economic activities. So these are the occupational duties of Vaishya. And Shudra, they are predominantly in the Tamoguna, and the qualities are service, attitude, humility, assisting other orders of the Varnas, other Varnas. And what are the occupation? Serving other three Varnas, skilled labor, craft, support work. So this way, these are the general classification of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So what we understand is that as per the scriptures and acharyas, what actually a devotee is transcending the modes. So a devotee may be born in any of these varnas, or no, he may be even an outcast. He may not be belong to the Vedic fold itself. He may be mlecha or even whatever it is, outcast, but still he can rise above the Brahmanical platform by performing devotional service. So that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, Sloka number 6. It says, Savai pumso paro dharma yado bhakti radokshate haitugi apradihada e atma suprasidati. The supreme occupation of all humanity is that by which men can attain the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So that is actually the point we need to understand. So the pure devotee, Vaishnava, is above a Brahmana. So we'll quickly look at the story of Haridas Thakur, who's Namacharya. We have seen this story some time ago. But then Haridas Thakur is an embodiment, or a proof that it doesn't matter actually. So the bhakti or the pure devotional service is available to everybody. There is no qualification required for one to attain pure devotion to the Lord. So Haridas Thakur actually was born in a Muslim family, in the 15th century. So he appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya appeared, right? And during the time of Advaita Acharya. So he was born in Bangladesh, now current Bangladesh, into a Muslim family. And he in a very small age, he was very beautiful. And at a very small age, actually, he developed devotion to the Lord by associating with Advaita Acharya. And actually, he become completely purified. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the name of Namacharya, because he was completely dedicated to chanting of the holy name. So we have this 9 process of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. So Haridas Thakur demonstrated that even if we perform one of the 9 limbs perfectly, then we can attain the highest perfection. So he took up the kirtan of the whole, chanting of the holy name, and by that only he attained the perfection. So he used to chant 3 lakh holy names per day. That is about 192 rounds. So one round of chanting for us normally, it takes at least around 5 minutes. So basically, the entire day he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. No, he did not have any other activity. But then he had to face a lot of severe persecution, because at that time the Muslim kings were ruling, that Bengal, and because especially because a Muslim and he took up this dharma of Hindus, so they become very very much angry, and then they are told him to give up the chanting, or no, you will be punished. But then Haridas Thakur told that no, even if you cut my body into pieces, still I will continue the chanting of the holy name. So he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, because he gave up he was refused to give up chanting, because normally a person cannot survive even in one place only, one marketplace only, the person will die. But because of the Lord's mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord was protecting him. He survived all the beatings, and finally, to protect the people who are tormenting him, because otherwise the king will punish the beaters. So he actually finally, he behaved as if he did, and then they threw him into Ganga. So it is so Haridas Thakur is so pure and so compassionate. He was merciful to even the tormentors. So he forgave them, And finally, everybody recognized his transcendental position. So then later, Haridas Thakur actually was living in Jagannath Puri. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakur also lived there. And because he was so humble, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized him that he is the topmost devotee, right? And he actually refused to enter, because at that time, in Jagannath Puri only Hindus were allowed. And he did not. So Haridas Thakur told that he was unqualified because I am a Mlecha. I am happy. I will not enter the Jagannath Puri. So this way he was very humble, even though he was very elevated. No, and then he was living in a place called Siddhabagula. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was so dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he used to send prasadam every day to Haridas Thakur because he did not have any other occupation or any other income, right? So he used to ensure that he was always having the necessary requirements, and he used to visit regularly Haridas Thakur. So finally, the passing away of Haridas Thakur also is glorious. So no, he expressed desire to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that no, I don't want to live after your departure. So I would like to pass away before you depart. And this way, in the hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, by chanting the holy name, he left the body. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his last rites. He was dancing with the body of Haridas Thakur, and he performed the last rites of Haridas Thakur. So this way, Haridas Thakur actually is a very very great exalted devotee, an embodiment of pure devotion, right? And he was actually spreading the glories of the holy name, right? With Nityananda Prabhu, he used to go door to door because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instruction to Nityananda Prabhu that no, go to every door and request everybody to chant Hare Krishna. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur used to go, open when somebody opens the door, they knock the door. When they open the door, they fall at their feet and then they beg to chant the holy name. So this way he was very very humble. So this way, we can see the example. What is the takeaway that we can take from this story is that these varnas and ashramas are meant for the gradual purification of the jiva, right? And uh, and one who is a pure Vaishnava, right? One who is a pure devotee to the Lord, right? He actually is transcending all these three modes. He is above the mode of goodness, and he doesn't belong to a Vaishnava jati buddhi. This is considered one of the offense. That a Vaishnava, we should not ask what is his jati. No, he doesn't have any jati. He is just a devotee of the Lord. So in this context, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a shloka which actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recites the shloka. It is in Madhya Leela 1380. The shloka says, Naham vipro na cha narapati, nabi vaishyo na shudra, Naham varni na cha griha patir, no vanasto yadirva, Kindu prodayan nikila paramananda purnamridadbhir, Gobi Bhartrupadakamalayur Dasa 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 Anudasa. So what it says, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishyan or a Shudra, nor I am a Brahmachari, a householder, a Vanaprasa or a sannyasi. I identify myself only as a servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of universal transcendental bliss. He is always existing with brilliance. So this is the essence, what we need to understand from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that actually we are not any of these things. We are a spirit soul who doesn't have any of these bodily designations, right? We are actually a servant of the Lord. So that is our real identity, and everything else is a temporary identity that actually will just may last for one lifetime. After that, this identity keep changing. So what is the key takeaway of today's session? So the key takeaway is that so there is the Vedic knowledge, which actually has is very vast, right? So the Lord actually gives the Vedic knowledge along with the creation, and one of the main purpose of the Vedic knowledge is to give the ways for the jiva, right? How they can live in this material world and try to be happy. So this is most part of the Vedas. No, what are the different yagyas? What is dharma, artha, moksha, kama? So there are purusharthas are there, right? So this is the majority of the Vedas, which gives information how they can be happy. So, but then this process is temporary. We have seen sometimes you may go to higher planets like Sorga, enjoy for many thousands of years. Then again you come back to the material earth, right? Again you acquire karma. Again you go higher or you go lower. So this way the jiva keep rotating in the material world, life after life, but never becoming completely happy, because that lost happiness you cannot find in the material world, which is like a reflection. So unless until when the jiva takes up the bhakti, then actually he starts getting relishing the happiness, and he starts his journey back home. So the point what we are trying to understand is that this varnashrama system is there as part of the Vedic scripture for the order of the society and for gradual elevation of the jiva, so that they make slow progress by ascending the modes, like from mode of ignorance to mode of passion to mode of goodness, and then finally above the mode of goodness. So this is for gradual progress. right? So understanding the topmost knowledge, like Krishna is explained in 15th chapter, we've seen, right? Sambandha, Abhidya, and Prayojana. One should not waste any time, right? And understand that this is the highest purpose. And accordingly, we should completely dedicate our time and activities for our ultimate benefit, which is actually purifying the soul, and regaining our constitutional position of serving the Lord. So the devotional service is the process for that. And then we should take up the instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has made the process easier in Kali Yuga, and he has mainly given the process of chanting of the holy name. So it is mentioned Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Abhinnatam Nama Namino. So this holy name of the Krishna is the embodiment of the Lord. And in Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avata. In the Kali Yuga, the Lord has appeared in the form of holy names. Right? We cannot see the Lord. In Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to see the Lord. Right? What to speak in the previous Yuga also, but in Kali Yuga it is impossible. So, but then Lord is manifested as the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this process. If have faith in Chaitanya and accept the instruction and chant the holy name, then the perfection is guaranteed. So with that, I think we come to the end of today's session. And just want to remind, today's Ekadashi is a very auspicious day. So whatever benefit we get, spiritual benefit we get in other days, if you do the same thing on an Ekadashi, the benefit is multiplied by 100 times or even 1,000 times. So we can actually take some time today, to perform some devotional activity. The most important being chanting of the holy name, right? And we can read some Bhagavad Gita, we can read Bhagavatam. So try to perform some devotional activity today, and if possible, we can eat only fruits, or we can take non-grain prasadam, Ekadashi prasadam. So whatever austerities you can do, if you can do, you can. That is great. But at least if you are not able to do those austerities, at least chant the holy name of the Lord. At least one round you can chant. So this way, we can take the determination to progress in bhakti after understanding all the transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, it will become theoretical. We need to apply it and practically. So with that, I think we'll try to end here. So let's stand holy names, together 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So devotees, anybody has any questions, they can unmute and ask, or if they want to leave at this point, they can leave. So, or they can put it in the chat, the questions. Anybody has any question, devotees? Okay. So, there are no questions. No, I would like to remind you that today is a very auspicious day. Please take benefit of the Ekadashi. Try to perform some spiritual activity. So, there are incidents in history, by unknowingly taking Ekadashi, one actually became a pure devotee, right? So, and even like very low class people or even animals were liberated actually by performing Ekadashi. So the Ekadashi of glory, the glories of Ekadashi are unlimited. So you can do some simple activity. Nothing if possible, then you can circumambulate Tulsi actually, Tulsi plant. If you have a Tulsi plant, you can worship Tulsi Maharani. So by performing these activities, we get unlimited benefits, spiritual benefits. So try to do whatever is possible in your capacity. Because we'll end here. I would like to thank all devotees for joining regularly. We'll meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. We'll end here.